8 children. Actually, the first 2 died, so there would have been 10. And well, as it happened, we all turned out successful. For school, no. For the family, I think it is very important to. We were brought up in a very special family, where mother knew her responsibilities and father did. We have nothing to be proud of. We were given everything. We didn't even know what we were getting when we were getting it. Sometimes we thought we were being cheated. For example, my father, he was always stern, aggressive looking, and never praising me. And I was afraid of him. Even just his looking at me, I would feel like disappearing. Then mother, always kind, laughing. I think that must have been the way Igbo people brought up their children. Mother, very kind. Father, stern. Just a look and I feel like it's appearing. So we had our home chores shared out. The boys were in charge of plucking and preparing bitter leaf for soup making. And then sweeping the big obi and access to obi. The girls, of course, were in charge of all the food. I don't know, I didn't learn how to cook anything. All I was able to do was to prepare bitter leaf for soup. Yes. So, when we were growing up, we were mimicking what the adults were doing. For example, we see our father, especially, and men, as they are conducting funeral of our friends or relations who died. When they finish, we go and kill a lizard and go to bury the lizard the way. How do we do that? We bury the lizard. We make a gun, because you must shoot gun when you are. We make a gun from bamboo. That bamboo there, I planted it. You make a gun from bamboo and go to cassava and bite out some parts of it. Then you hit it and then wham! Never. That's what the old people were doing, and we were watching. We carried it on. Oh. Then school. I'll call you back anytime you feel like.
No, you're on course, sir.
School. Our compound virtually is together with the Salvation Army compound. And we went to school in the Salvation Army. I was there up to standard 4. And God was again very kind to me. Instead of 8 years, I spent 6 years in primary school. But there was problem. After standard 4, I thought I was being lucky. I was taken to Jos, to one of our relations. When I got there, there was no school to go to. And hyena, I don't know whether you know what hyena is.
Animal.
It's an animal. Hyena, I will be in Jos, in the house of this person who was working in the post office. The hyena will come and begin to shout, ooh, 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 frightening in the extreme. Hyena, and I haven't heard it killed anybody. So, I started making trouble. 3 months, no school. The 4th month, I was complaining too much. So, they took me home. And I changed because Salvation Army has only Psalm 4. I had to go to Anglican school for those 5 and 6. And it was good. I was lucky, although, of course, I missed 4 months. But I think I caught up with some of them. Eventually, I was, for the final year, I was number 2. Yeah. I lost many months. So I finished primary school. Then I went first of all to be an apprentice trader, selling medicine. After selling medicine, I changed to spare parts, motor spare parts. That brought me up. Something flashed in my head when I changed to motor spare parts. Something occurred to me. I didn't know what. There was a spare part that is put in the opinion shaft. It was spoiling too often. So I started making it iron. I made the pinion shaft for Austin Motors. And Igbo made. It never spoiled like the others, so you can't sell too much.
Was durable.
Very durable. Then I moved around. I went to Lagos. Went to look for shopping, buying things. But that was not what God planned for me. So I decided I should go back to school, that I must get a degree. So one white man, Mr. Brown, came and he wanted to visit Salvation Army from Newi. I was told to guide him, to show him the way. In the car, I told him, I want to be a teacher. He said, what did I do? Psalm 6, nothing else. I want to be a teacher. And from there, I go back to school. And the man was so impressed. The white man was so impressed. He said, okay, when I get to your school, I will tell them. And that's how I started being a teacher. Taught primary 1, primary 2, and then moved to another town, Osumeni, where they were calling me head. Head means headmaster. I started as a what do you call them? Small headmaster, junior headmaster. But it was a very busy thing. I was teaching Standard 3 officially. When they close, I teach Standard 4. And then that was the time I was trying to get my education, because I didn't go to secondary school. The early time I was supposed to go to secondary school, my father said I would die of hunger. So I didn't go to secondary school. And in Osumeni, I had met somebody who taught me about correspondent courses from London, Rapid Result College. So I booked Rapid Result courses, and that was good. After teaching a legal class in the evening, then I moved into the bush for my own learning. I moved into the bush with lamp, and I was never afraid. In the bush, you can have a snake or whatever. Nothing ever touched me. So
They saw you as a neighbor.
So January 1959, I went for GCE qualifying test. In those days, you can't go and take GCE without qualifying for it. So you do GCE qualifying test. I was lucky, God was always with me. So I passed. 1960, January, GCE ordinary level. GCE ordinary level. By the grace of God, I passed. 1961, GCE advanced level. That one gave me trouble, because I was reading economic history, and I believe I have no brains for history. There we were going for the exam. I took my Bible and beat my book, the book of economic history. I beat it with the Bible. And I made a cross and inserted in the Bible and said, let's go. I will destroy this course. I will. And indeed, I managed to pass. I didn't destroy it. So I got 3 papers at the same sitting. And I told everybody that was. And I want to tell you how I got that result. My senior brother lived in Onitsha. And GCE is every January. So as soon as I finished school in Osumeni, I moved to my brother's house in Onitsha and took over because he had to go for Christmas. There's something called dexamphetamide. Have you ever heard it? Look at these boys. Dexamphetamide. You take it, your eyes will be like this.
You will stay awake.
Hey, non-stop. And your body will be shaking. Dexamphetamide. Because I had no time to read. I came for Christmas holiday. I'm alone. I can read. Then I have to be awake to read. So I asked questions and they told me about dexamphetamine. I went and carried it. The thing is this. My brother came back for Christmas, met me on the way. He did not know me because I was maybe 1/10 to my size. Everything, the eyes were sucked in. Everything looked. So I said, Emma. He looked at me. Emma. So I'm with me. So that was a dangerous thing, but God saved me. Then I was in the village when the result came. I went to collect the result. Then I had bought a superb. What's it called superb? It's a bicycle. I had bought a superb. As soon as I rode the bicycle into my father's compound, my mother was there, saw me. I threw my superb like this, because I was already in heaven. Why? Because when I got the results, I went to Salvation Army Church. My results in my hand. I prayed to God. I said, God, if this is bad, it is bad already. But give me the courage to go again.
That's without opening the results.
Without opening the result. Then I opened the result and saw 3 papers. It's not easy. Normally 2 papers that I will clap for you. But 3 papers, ooh. So I took my bicycle to when I got home, I threw my bicycle by side, big man. And my mother said, how much will they be paying you now? Yeah. Very disappointing. Women. It's talking about money. when I was talking about having escaped poverty. So that was a very good experience. It wasn't easy reading on your own without any help at all. No teacher, no nothing. And then I bought, after Rapid Result College, I bought Wolsey Hall. The Wolsey Hall was very, very, very tough. But I read it all, and by the grace of God, everything went well. And I applied late to Nsukka and to Ibadan. Nsukka came first, admitting me. I said, I'm not going there. This year started the university. Why should I? But I'm waiting with confidence. Then anybody admitted me, so I jumped. And this admission is late, though. It's not one didn't get it so easy. So I went to University of Ibadan, and I was so happy that UCI. We're not University of Ibadan, UCI. I was in Independent Hall.
What year was that?
1961.
That's in 1961.
1961, before many people were born. And so we went to. The problem I had was inferiority complex. I did not go to school, secondary school. And look at me, mixing with people who have finished secondary school and finished higher school. They will be conversing in my presence. I made 111. I made 111. That's, and me, nothing. So the first exam, I didn't have enough courage. I don't think I had. I started looking for my name after the result came out. Looking from bottom, because this is this climbing. But I didn't have to climb because I saw myself number 18. Number 18. That was the first exam. Number 18. I said, is that all? All this 111 and so next year, 1963.
Confidence boosted.
Confidence and overconfidence. So it was sickness. I was writing as if I must beat everybody. And then my pen didn't work again. My brain stopped working too. Eventually, they cooled down. One what's his name? Arthur, a white man, brought me brandy in the exam hall because he saw I was off. Gave me brandy. I drank. I think eventually I cooled down again, continued writing. And when the result came, no man born by woman saw my back. No man born by. So I was faculty prize winner, Faculty of Economics and Social Studies. It was very good. And I was so happy. That is, in those good days.
That was what year?
That was 1963. Then 1964 is our final year. And by that time, we have heard about the University of Ibadan, but we were never touched by it. Those who came newly were University of Ibadan. We remained UCI.
What's the full meaning of that?
Pardon? University College Ibadan.
University College Ibadan.
So that was the time when our leaders knew what they were doing. Even though you can say that there are not many people who finish university, any of us who finish, you have a job. I was there, the Nigerian breweries came to interview us. They took me immediately. So I went to work at the Nigerian Breweries Limited. And another very great experience in life.
What year was that?
1964. I enjoyed Nigerian breweries all the way. There was proper teaching. There's one man, he thought or what, he was teaching us how to sell how to manage, how to be a manager, how to be a salesman. And he was doing it so well. So after the training, he sent us to compete with the people who were already there, and the new one and the old one. We were competing. I will give you some of my best opportunities. During the course of the first trading, I got into a shop to sell star beer and other things to the people. When I entered, the person knew I was from Nigerian breweries and was so annoyed. He was so bitter. He said, "Come on, nonsense. Who are you?" There's nothing he didn't throw at me. I was looking at him. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. But he knows I'm from Nigerian breweries. And so, God is great. I said, "My brother, I'm very sorry for whatever Nigerian breweries has done to you. Otherwise, you don't know me. I don't know you. Look at how you have been abusing me." And I didn't say any word. In fact, even now, I'm not annoyed at all. Please forgive me for what Nigerian breweries did for me. Do you know, at the end of the day, I sold more than I ever had sold before. And he bought more than ever he had bought before. So I went home. Very happy. So anyway, I beat everybody in the competition. We were competing how to sell and who will sell more. I sold more than anybody else. So Nigerian breweries gave me life. I would go to the West, go to the Midwest, go to the North, got experience. And it was good. That was Nigerian Breweries Limited. But, as I told you, my mind told me I should go to school. And my mind told me the best way to go to school is to go to government. Today, my wife tells me that going to government stops somebody from going to school. So I said I will go to government. And do you see how good Nigeria was that time? That is why I feel disappointed, even in myself, that I'm watching people coming here, I give them letters of recommendation, and many of them don't get anything. But in those days, what you want is what you get. So I said I want to go back to school and go back, first of all, to government. The chairman of Civil Service Commission was asking me questions. Are you sure that's what you want? And why do you want to leave Nigerian rules? And you know, it was a major thing. One of the managers in Nigerian rules got my file. After looking at it, as he's looking at it, he's just shaking his head. Shaking his head. I don't know what he's shaking his head for. But eventually, he says, "Look, you want to leave. You want to leave Nigerian rules. Look at what many people have written about you." What is there? He said, "Probably the first Nigerian managing director of NBL, Nigerian Breweries Limited."
In the making.
They thought that after hearing that I would change my mind and continue. Maybe I made a mistake, but I was happy with what I did. I went to the Civil Service Commission, and the chairman directed the secretary what to do. And I ended up with, when they asked me where you work, I said, economic development or nothing. Where will you work? Economic development or nothing. Look at the arrogance. These days, whatever they give you, you take. They will not even give you. So I got to economic development, and I met people. I met good people. Alison Aida was the pumpsake of the greatest order in those days. Ebong from Akwa Ibom, one of the greatest pumpsakes. Then we met others, Philip and Siodu. The same Philip and Siodu, whom you can see in the airport carrying his own briefcase now. He will be working with difficulty, but he's still very, very strong. There are so many people who really meant something, doing what they like. Some people had very good big names, but they're not as important to Nigeria in terms of the people really who did things for during my time. It was Aida, Ebong, Philip and Siodu, a little below my level, Olufalaye, John Oyegu. There's one Ayo who did much in agriculture. In fact, the wife became the chairman of the Civil Service Commission in Abuja. So that is how I entered there. I don't know what now, that becomes a very big space. Anyway, after some time there was a coup, 1966 coup. And let me tell you what the 1966 coup was. Some people, northern people, conspired and put Awo in prison. Before then, Awo had introduced free education. Free education in the West. And Western people became the best trained people in Nigeria, even up to today, the West. So there was a preferred government system, we call this structure. There was a preferred structure of government chosen by the forefathers, our founding fathers. Azikiwe, Awolowo, Madubelo. Can even add Akintola, Okpara, and maybe we can put Dennis Osadebe. We found a country doing very well. Do you know that the World Bank made it clear in that period, 1954, 1966, that some parts of Nigeria were growing faster than the rest of the world? You see, today, instead of growing faster than the rest of the world, we are told that we are fast growing faster than the rest. We are fast growing poorer than the rest of the world. World leader in poverty, Nigeria. From growing faster than the rest of the world to being world leader in poverty. What happened? Why?
You were talking about the 1966.
Cool.
There's something that you want to say about
That's what I'm going to.
Awolowo was incarcerated.
Okay, I didn't finish that one before I jumped into the other one.
Yes.
Yes. You saw the Awolowo performance. Everybody saw it. He brought television. He built a big, gigantic office. So, most young men, whether you are west or east or north, you see Awo as a good administrator. So, instead of languishing in jail, some young men led by Nzogu and others from Bendel,
Yes.
and then one, what's the name of the man who came from Yoruba? The number 2 person is from Yoruba. Then, if you saw the list, there are more than 20 people. And our people, Igbo, were minority. And the coup was to bring Awo out of jail and install him as Prime Minister of Nigeria. That was the intention. Look at how much we have suffered. Igbo people have been killed massively. People didn't know.
Because of the same Awo.
Yes. They didn't know that it was for Awo. And nobody is regretting. Those who did the coup didn't regret because they did the right thing. If it just that it didn't work, it didn't work because some of them failed. So that's phase 1. The phase 2 is very important. Nigerians, as we call them, our founding fathers, decided on the structure for Nigeria, the political structure for Nigeria. What did they decide? They decided to have a meaningful federal system. Some people can call it true federalism, but let's say a meaningful federal system with regions as federative units. That means there will be a constitution for each of the regions and a constitution for the federal government. The local things are done by the regions. What you call local are ambiguous, sometimes up to university education. So, we agreed to have each region growing at its own pace. You don't even come near enough. When I was growing up, I didn't know anything about Muslim. So there's nothing, no contact. But being Igbo, we were all over the place. The north, we were the west, and everything. So it was this structure of federal system based on regions as federating units. It was this structure that made us grow faster than the rest of the world in some parts. So when I went for campaign, I told Anambra people, if my becoming governor of Anambra State is for my personal good, may God make it impossible. But if my becoming governor of Anambra State is for the good of the people, may God make it easy. God never made it easy, but He made it possible. And I went in with determination. Even today, people have not told what I did. The thing was fundamental. For example, let me tell you, you will be thinking about whether I built a skyscraper. The first thing I did was the first thing I promised to do, to have a good family, have a good people. So I decided that what makes us good most of the time is breastfeeding. When we are sucking our mother's breast, we are looking at her, she's looking at us, and we are exchanging humanity, love, kindness, etc. So I said, every baby in Anambra State must be well breastfed, and that I will do it first week of being in office. And first week of being in office, we changed the maternity leave system. You are pregnant, you carry the pregnancy. You can leave office to go and deliver, but most of the time you can take some few days and then go to deliver. After you deliver, you stay with the baby for 6 months. Breastfeeding, non-stop. Then after 6 months, I think, is it 3 months? You go to work half time. Half day. For me, it was a major achievement. And the women of Nigeria gave me honors for that. But I worked. I made a comprehensive plan. The capital was planned. We planned agriculture. We planned industry, science and technology. I got some people from America, from the top levels of industrial development. And I collected all those men who did wonders in Biafra, told them what to do. They came back together and brought their experiences and wrote it out. Wrote the experiences they had. And so we didn't lose. Those who did the Ogunigwe, we have them. Things wouldn't have been like this. I was ready for refineries.
So at that time?
Yes, I was ready to go to those who did the refineries, because there were refineries in Biafra. I wanted to go to them, and then we'll see how we. But I did enough. The one I didn't do, I don't want to regret it. People can never really know what happened, because it was so comprehensive, sweeping. When the government of Buhari was afraid of losing election because of scarcity of essential commodities, they decided to move away from Ministry of Trade and Industry for import licensing.
What year was that?
I don't remember. It should be 1970 something. I don't remember. Um, they took me from my office and the cabinet office to, of course, retained me in that office, but appointed me secretary, executive secretary for import licensing. Do you know why?
Right.
They said if they left it in the ministry, people who work on it will be negotiating for how much they get before they issued license. And that they say that for me, it is just a matter of what do you want? Have you a right to it? It will be given. That I will not go negotiating personal benefit. That was true all my life, even today. So, we issued import licenses like our life depended on it. You come out in the morning, before 9, white men, black men, they have lined up from your door to a very long distance. Managing directors sometimes. So, we gave import licenses, and it worked. And I was happy. In that case, I should just give you one instance. A minister was brought to be on top. The minister, Adamu Chiroma. Mm-hmm. So, we were working together. He is the boss, and I'm supporter. We disagreed on a very, very important issue, myself and the minister. He said, this is the way to do it. I said, okay, that way will not work. The way we work is like this. Say, go and do it my way. See, this is the kind of civil servant we were, especially this one. So we scattered. He went to his office, I went to my office. And I looked at what he planned. Disaster. I looked at what I planned. It would work. So I did my own. Then, I think a week after we met again with press. I don't know if AIT was there by then.
No, you are not there.
So we met, and with press everywhere, Chiroma saw that I did my own, not his own. He said, Allah, 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 Allah. He talked in Hausa and said eventually in English, may God never bring me close to this man again in this life. The press people were looking at him. Yeah, but 3 weeks after, the result came. We were again in the press, the same hall. He has seen the result. Do you know, the man is so good, so honest, that he said, oh God, forgive me. Forgive me for talking against this brilliant man. He did it the right way, and the way he has done it works. If he had gone my way, we would have been failures. That's life in the civil service. When people were people, not there to share money, but there to support Nigeria. Okay, let me just give you instance there was one very important day. We had many meeting of permanent secretaries. Meeting of permanent secretaries. We had 2 committees to form. And we know you are more than 30, 20 something, at least 30, up to 30 permanent secretary. But first they gave me a job. They said I should become the chairman of privatization and commercialization. And what happened? Go and take anybody you like to do the work, but do the work. 2, we are making transition from military to civilian. John Oyegu was appointed chairman, and I was appointed immediately to join him. We were 7. And if Nigeria had been a place to be easily saved, it was then. You know, we agreed miraculously. Only one person disagreed because he saw through. He saw it will spoil the dominance his people have in the country. We decided on 2-party system. 2 parties. If you saw how happy those who know what was the consequence of it had, very happy. 2-party system. Eventually, this very brilliant, very gifted man, Babangida, eventually he came as if it was himself imposing it. A little to the left, a little to the right. But it was it. It was great.
SDP was a little to the left, NRC was a little to the right.
Yes. I was governor under SDP. And Kano people, Sokoto people, if they are coming to Anambra and they are progressives, they are feeling like they are going home. And then my people in Anambra, if they are conservative and are going to Sokoto, they are feeling they are going home. So Nigeria was very clean, neatly compacted. And it was beautiful. We meet as governors meeting, planning what will be good for Nigeria. If it will happen again, may God help us to give us 2-party system. We saw it in Nigeria. We saw it worked before we started having 90-something parties.
Proliferation of parties.
It was no use. Look at it now. Even now you have basically 2 parties. But the kind of 2 parties we have is to chop all the money in Nigeria and without any brain power. People who are really important in parties have no brains. In those days, the people who led the parties were the brain power people. Zik, Awo, Opera.
Even the likes of Chief Tommy Kimi then, in NRC.
That's as much as you know. So I tell you, it is not just Nigeria. Something must change. In the beginning, God created the world, the heavens, and the earth, and all in between heaven and earth, created by God. And that same God created me, black man, first, before any other man. We in Africa are the original daughters and sons of God. Everything was given to us. We can go out in the sun, not die. In the rain, not die. Go out in the snow and you know that you are a dead man. So we were ecology. There's ecological balance in Africa. So you just pluck this and eat, pluck this and eat, pluck this and eat. We were enjoying life. In addition to enjoyment of life, we still enjoyed intelligence. There was every science, every technology, everything was discovered by the black man. Even God, one God. Only black man decided on one God. The only God worth worshipping is the God of the black man. Chineke. God gave us all those things. What happened? Somehow, we destroyed ourselves with corruption. And now, we have nothing. At first, we were number one in the world. We were number one in the world. All the things that were packed in Alexandria, all the books that were packed in Alexandria, written by us. You can touch your chest because we were all there with Egyptians, with Nubians, with Ethiopians. The Igbo people said they are Jews. Is it possible? Is it not possible that from Hebrew, it is possible? So we need to go back to honesty, to right values, to integrity, to loving ourselves and doing the right thing. Away from selfishness. We need to go back so that there will be respect for the black man. Look at Trump. Everything he says is true. I supported the man from the beginning. My wives were all against him. Trump says, who are you? Are you a human being if you cannot prepare for your own children? Are you a human being if you just behave like an animal?
If you cannot even elect a quality leader.
Some people are dishonest. That is the point. Sometimes Buhari is very honest. Even expensively honest. I saw him talking. And he said that people who are asking for restructuring are selfish. It was what he said in this House Out. And that opened my mind to understand why some people are opposed to restructuring. It is lack of understanding. Restructuring has many components. Physical federalism, resource control, devolution of powers, etc. But the one that they are misunderstanding is resource control. When you talk restructuring, some people would think that, okay, restructuring, In the night, we finish restructuring. In the morning, no more oil money to northern states. That is the problem with our not thinking through things. How can we are sharing money. Just one day you stop it. You want people to die? If you stop it like that, there will be war. I have a system of resource control. It is not DOP. Okay, let me give you my idea how you restructure, do resource control, and yet survive. I told you that restructuring means going back to the agreed structure of a useful, meaningful federal system with regions as federating units. That is restructuring. Others are just additional. Now, what about the component of restructuring which is called resource control? Yes, we don't think that it is right for federal government to own all the minerals in Nigeria. Why? But it has already been started and cannot be abruptly terminated. What is before us as Nigerians now is this. We must develop in each state adequate internally generated revenue. We must develop in each state adequate internally generated revenue. If we do that, we have our heads right. If we don't do that, we are not making progress at all. How do we do it? We can give 5 years from the day of restructuring to the day we can say we must have achieved this purpose. Now we take money and develop each state, sources of revenue in each state. If it is agriculture, we follow it. Whatever it is that yields money, so that each state will be on its own. That is it. And we do it. Within 3 years, in fact, we would have developed enough internally generated revenue for each state. We may do it another for 1 year, 4 years. Therefore, you are not just going away, abandoning Kano State, abandoning Kaduna State. No, you build the fallback position before you withdraw revenue. Okay. I want us to be closer to God. I hear these stories going around that we have too many churches, we have too many this. They go and tell you in Finland you have about 25 churches, in Northern Europe. No. Going close to God can never lose. You never lose. But then you must use your brain. Going forward, therefore, for as long as our crude oil lasts, we want to use it. We want to use it to support our economic development. I made this proposal to many, many presidents. It wasn't that the president didn't understand me. They understood it, but they couldn't fight corruption. I want to make it graphic so that you understand. What I proposed was we estimate the quantity of crude oil we require to service our cars, service our generators, service our gas using something, anything, petroleum product. That's one. Once we do that, then we go and process it, refine that quantity that we need for local consumption, and those people near us, otherwise we would think we are building for ourselves alone, and all the neighboring countries will impact on us. Once we finish that, then we use the price of petroleum products to subsidize the entire economy. And there is no other product that can do that job. Petroleum products go into every aspect of manufacturing, every aspect of transportation, etc. So, instead of suffering, we sell our petroleum products at a very low price to support our export to other and compete with the rest of the world. Now, the price can be anything you choose. If you want, you cover only the cost of processing. We will be exporting crude. We will be exporting refined products. So, either way, we are in good shape. Now, why didn't any president do it? The importers of finished products in Nigeria are very powerful. And they make too much money from the importation. In fact, they are a good source of bribery and corruption in Nigeria. And they could not allow any president to do what I've just said. Well, that is because the president doesn't fully understand the consequence of doing the right thing. If Nigeria becomes a buoyant country, every president will be happy.
Of course.
But they couldn't imagine. Today, some people are congratulating themselves when they shoot down all the refineries in the coast. The refineries in the area should not be dealt with like we are dealing with them. We should now begin to help develop tiny
That's the purported illegal refineries.
so-called illegal refineries. We do that. And there are so many things. Now, today, if I am in government as an advisor, this country will explode economically. Because there are new things that have developed that we are not there during our time. And I will tell you. Do you know that America, European Union, the European countries are very concerned about our poverty? They are not concerned because they like us. They are concerned because they know that should Nigeria explode, a lot of people will come to their country. So, because they are concerned, they have decided to help Nigeria grow. Nigeria is the first country. Do you know what they did?
What?
300 billion dollars have been set aside to help develop Nigeria. It is not we are lending you money. No. We are giving you money. There will be some other things. But of course, people who know will know how to get it. So, we should exploit today's world. We can begin explosive development in Nigeria. But we must recognize merit. It's not getting people from your village to come and work, to be minister, to be a director, to be this. Get people who are well trained, like Sanusi is well trained. Sanusi of Kano is a well trained man. There are so many well trained. There are many of us, including me, who are well trained to guide an economy like this one. I don't know what I regret though, because God has been guiding me all through. What is it? I regret that Nigeria fell into his wrong hands. I regret that people don't have values anymore. I regret that blood of man is cheaper than the blood of cattle. These are the kind of things I'm regretting, the failures of Nigeria. That is what I am regretting. I don't know what I could have done better for myself. Yeah, but even now, I'm still struggling. In fact, what is concerning me right now is Nigeria, Africa, and China. We are very arrogant. We, the Igbo. When I was in America, did I believe anybody was near me? And then the result comes out and you pass through and beat many people. You will now confirm it. That's why my daughter, Oge, who is now living in America with his children, I did not allow him to stay in America to imbibe inferiority feeling from the TV. So when he was getting beyond two years, and the second one was getting to 1+, I decided I'm going back to Uganda because I was teaching all those words you didn't know about it. I didn't tell you, I was a lecturer in Makerere University, Uganda. Yeah, I was, after studying in America under Arthur D. Little, I couldn't go back to Nigeria because the war was on. So I applied to work outside and got employed by Makerere University, Uganda. And there I got another life altogether. I was on TV, I was on radio, trying to talk about Biafra. Eventually they brought one very, very good man, Ibrahim Tahir, to come and challenge me on TV. After we finished battling, the next day, the newspaper said, their faces told the story. Ibrahim Tahir was so comfortable talking. Ezeife was dying because his people are dying. So Uganda was good. It was very important. They were respectful. The president, Obote, will call us in and talk with us and pick our brains. Yes. Well, it was after 2 years in Uganda that I applied to Harvard University. And my wife completed the application while I was still in Uganda. In fact, there was a time people said that it was my wife who went to do PhD for me. She hasn't got one, so she have given the one before to before doing for me. So,
So I want to ask.
me, I feel satisfied even when I haven't got the money. And if I did have the money, the kind of money some people have, I would not be sleeping well at all. I will not be sleeping well at all, especially in a society where there are talakawas. There are, what do you call those who don't get it? Almajiris. I tell my Igbo brothers and sisters, there must be no more Almajiris, no more talakawas. Whenever Igbo becomes president, we make effort to end all the talakawa, all the Almajiris, and have egalitarian society. I want my children to be bigger than myself, to be known more than myself. The same way any child. Nigeria is wasting. And part of the problem is that they're holding the Igbo down. For as long as Nigeria holds the Igbo man down, for so long will Nigeria be held down. You leave the Igbo man, he goes everywhere, makes brothers of everybody, and develops, remakes Nigeria, develops Nigeria, and it will be enjoyment for all.